All right, so y'all know what time it is. Iyanla Fix My Life is back, and of course I'm watching it, and of course I'm talking about it. So let's get into the first one. Okay, let's start here. Iyanla Fix My Life comes on the OWN network. If you don't know, it comes on Saturday nights at 9 p.m. Just in case you are not sure. Let me move this thing back because it's in my face, okay? Okay, so just in case you are not sure, that's when it comes on. So I watch it, of course. And the first episode had Shay Johnson. What the hell is that girl name? I don't even know. Shay Johnson, I believe, from... She's been on a lot of things. She started out on Flavor of Love with Flavor Flav back in the day. I know it's been a long time, y'all. So she was on there first. And then she did Charm School with Monique. And that was a whole bunch of the girls from the Flavor of Love franchise doing shows. After that, she did Love and Hip Hop, I think New York. And then she's in Love and Hip Hop Miami, I believe. Either way, she's on a whole bunch of Love and Hip Hop. So she's one of those reality star girls. She, on the show, she says she's a businesswoman. I did not Google her, so I do not know what kind of business she got. And because of how I have always seen her behave on TV, I'm not interested in any of her business dealings that I would know of. So I don't know what her business situation is, but that's what she has been doing as far as I know for a career. She like dated a lot of people in Love and Hip Hop to be able to keep herself relevant on the shows. And I don't know what her goal really was to be in life. Some people, it seems like their goal is just to be seen, and it seems like that's what Shay is doing. Anywho, she's over here on Iyanla Fix My Life now with her mama and her two brothers that they wanted to, I guess, fix their lives. Now, what's interesting to me always is whoever call into the show always think it's going to be one thing, like it's going to go one way, and it don't never go that way. They be like, I'm here to fix my relationship with my family, and then when they start being like, well, the part of the reason why your family is messed up is because of you, boo, then people be like, you ain't gonna have me out here looking stupid, you ain't gonna have me out here looking crazy. And it's like, what we doing? So we had the same situation here. Apparently Shay and her brothers do not have a good relationship with their mom. I don't really remember why they don't have a good relationship with her, except, well, that's not true. That's not true. Yes, I do. Okay, so let's take it back. Shay and her brothers were there because they do not have a good relationship with their mom, and they're not really that close with each other. Like, I don't think that they hate each other, but they're not really close to each other. And so, of course, Iyanla brings the mom on because Iyanla always feels like we got to start with the head and see what's going on here so that we can fix the rest of the family, okay? And if they all got an issue with you, then that's who we got to talk to first. So she's talking to the mom, and the mom was saying that she knows that she has an issue with Shay, but she didn't know she had an issue with either one of her boys. And so mom was completely shocked when Iyanla told her, your sons have problems with you too, boo. Like, there is an issue there. And so she was just kind of like, I didn't even know, so now I'm interested in seeing it. Then there was a clip, Iyanla was talking about how mama talks about Shay. And the mom was basically saying, like, I don't really talk bad about her. I don't really say nothing about her. But then they ran the clip, and she was saying that, Shay is evil, that she got evil in her heart. She's a demon, all kind of stuff. She hateful, all kind of stuff. And then the mama started flipping out about it. Like, y'all put that together. I didn't say it like that. Y'all put that together. And the mom was missing the point. First of all, she first said she didn't say it, and Iyanla had to pull and call the producers to say, bring the clips, because bring the footage, because I want to show you that you said this. Because when Iyanla was first saying it to her, like, these are the things you said about your daughter, the mom was saying, I didn't say it. And then when she finally saw the clips and flipped out about it, Iyanla was like, the problem is twofold. Number one, you trying to call me a liar, and that ain't gonna be okay. Like, I don't have a reason to lie here. Because one of the things I really do think that the families miss when they, get into this like defiant role is, are you only gonna work whether or not y'all fix y'all lives? Like, some other families are gonna come in, some other families going to show up. There will be families who really want to work this process. And so if you don't want to work it, that's fine. But I'm not gonna lose my job because you don't want to do your work. So when Iyanla was telling her, like, you have to pay attention to what's going on here. You're not trying to do this work. And so Iyanla was telling her, listen, you said these things. I ain't gonna lose my job whether or not you want to do it or not. But the other problem is, this is how you see your child. Evil, demonic, like she got evil spirits in her and whatnot. That's how you see your child, and you don't even know it because you don't even remember saying the things about her. And so the mom was just kind of like, whatever. And Iyanla told her, like, listen, you got to be ready because your kids is about to give you the business. And since you didn't even know you had, your boys had issues with you, you definitely about to get the business. So you need to be prepared for that. And the mom was kind of saying, like, I'm ready. I want to know what's going on. And that's fine. So we were, let's talk to these boys. And so she talked to the boys. And when she talked to them, they definitely said they have issue with their mom, but they never really wanted to say nothing to her because they didn't want to go against her. Right? And that's the thing, like, as children, even as adult children, you kind of feel like, I love my mom, I love my dad. Some of y'all who, was raised with both your parents, like, I love my parents, but that doesn't mean that they were perfect. And there are some things that happen that don't sit well with me. And I try to push past those things because of the love that I have for this person. But those things that made you feel away when you were younger, they do carry over into your adult life. And if you don't address those things, you will have unhealthy relationships with other people. You also might not have very healthy relationship with yourself. And that's when you become self-destructive because you haven't addressed your issues with yourself as a child. Right? And so the boys started talking about how they didn't feel loved. Their mom was a single mom. She divorced their father. I don't remember what age, but she did. They broke up or divorced, and the father left. He was not around. And in their minds, they feel like their father loved them more than their mom did, who was in their face. And that's really, really, really a child's perspective of things, because sometimes we can see that when I talk to my dad, he told me he loved me. And then sometimes he would bring me, or send me gifts or money. And so he really loved me. And sometimes he would like listen to me when I complained about you and things like that on the phone. So that means they really love me. But that person, the truth really is, that person was not there to have to deal with that every day. So they may have been able to muster up the strength to listen to their child, over the phone or whatnot, because they not also worried about the rent or the light or the water or the gas or the food or gas in the car or the car note or pads for your daughter, or your daughter need a bra and I ain't got no money, or your son grew out of his pants and I got to figure out tomorrow how to get this dude pants with some length to him, or he gonna be Michael Jackson up here at the schoolhouse. Like, that parent doesn't have to deal with any of those things. So yeah, they got a little bit of time to listen to you and give you a little bit of advice because they don't have the same stresses of the day to day. So the mom, being a single mom, she was not nurturing, and the boys are saying that they needed that. They needed some nurturing, and she didn't have none for them. And they are still holding on to the fact that they didn't feel loved in the house that they grew up in with their mom. Okay. And they were saying that one of them learned how to just run away. And so when he got old enough to leave, he left. He I'm out and I ain't coming back. I'm just going to push myself to be successful so that I never have to ask her for anything. I have to come back to her house. The other one seems to have been, he just like, he doesn't know his real worth, because there was probably a lot of praise for the first son because he was so successful and so smart and he could do all these things, and the mom probably was just like, oh, look at this one, he's out here killing the game. And so he doesn't know how to receive love from many places because he never got it, so he doesn't know how to handle that feeling. Okay, they also touched on what their relationship with their sister Shay was like, and they were basically like, she just like our mom, like she's disrespectful, she loud, she she does it, she fights all the time, they fight each other, our mom and our sister, they just clash all the time, and it's disruptive, and I don't like being around any of it. She's disrespectful when she speaks to us, she's disrespectful when she speaks to our mom, she's disrespectful when she speaks to other people out in the streets, like she's just disrespectful. And Iyanla was like, have you ever told her? At first she said, have you ever told your mom that you have the issue? The boys were like, no. These men were like, no. And then she said, have you ever told your sister, how you feel about her? And they were like, no. And so Iyanla was saying, part of the reason why your sister and your mother behave the way that they behave is because nobody has called them out for their behavior. Nobody has said, y'all wrong, this is disrespectful, you need to get your act together. And so she brings Shay into the room to sit down with them. When she brings them in, they both say, you are disrespectful. When you speak to us, it's not respectful. I am sometimes embarrassed by your actions. And basically, gave her a little bit of what she swear she ain't. Because Shay was definitely saying she ain't, she ain't disrespectful, and she's not loud. Not loud, but not this. Basically, she's not disrespectful. And Iyanla's just like, okay. So she bring her into the boys. The boys tell her, these men tell her, yes, you are. You're disrespectful. I don't like your ways, whatever, however that goes. And Shay automatically wants to speak. And let me tell y'all, this is a problem with a lot of y'all. Y'all always gotta y'all want to talk. But the listening is the part of the communication y'all get wrong so much, because you're not willing to listen to anybody. You have made up in your mind who and what you are. And a lot of times you lie to yourself, baby girl, because that is not who and what you are. What we see, what the public sees, what your family see, if you always arguing against it, you have to evaluate why everybody is saying it, okay? And so even if you always in an argument with people, if you are always in an argument with people, it's you, love. Something about you is attracting that type of behavior, that type of mood around you. And you got to evaluate how you going to change that. So back to Shay. Shay wanted to say something about so I ain't allowed to say nothing. And Iyanla was telling her no, because you have done enough in your life of talking about what you want to counter with. But you ain't taking in what is being said to you, which means you cannot evaluate whether or not things are true or not. Because just when somebody has here's the thing, y'all. Okay. If somebody has an issue with you, the time to discuss your issue with them is not when they're trying to address the issue with you. You need to address this first, and then we can move on to something else. But if you was holding it in all this time, baby girl, and the only time you want to give it to me is to throw it at me so that we don't talk about your issue, that's a problem. That is nothing but a runaway plan, okay? If I say, listen, you are not being nice to me, and then you be like, oh, but what about when you, no. What we not going to do is we not going to do that today. I just saying. That's Shay's tactic. She has learned that, especially from the shows that she has been on. The shows that she has been on, they favor the fight. They favor the argument. And so she has been trained to argue and fight. She has not been trained to listen. And you all who watch the show, you know that Iyanla's whole thing is about interrupting the pattern. Now, I know some of y'all get it confused and think that what she is doing is counseling, but what she really is doing is saying how you have been going about things thus far has not made whatever situation you would like to be better. And so you come here to talk to me so that we can change some of your thought processes on how you handle situations so that you can get a different outcome than what you keep on coming up with, because that ain't working, which is why you here. Okay. So when Iyanla is trying to tell Shay she cannot talk about how she feel about them at the time, Shay now is upset because she won her way. And Iyanla is trying to explain to her, we sat down and I told you before all of this happened that you have to be willing to work with the process. And you ain't going to like me at times. And that's okay. And this is one of those times when you should not like me because I am interrupting your pattern. Your pattern is to try to argue. It is not to listen. And I am trying to get you to learn how to listen. But Shay ain't want to hear none of that. She wanted to run out and get in the car because it was not going her way. And if it's not going her way, then she didn't want to do it. But the problem with that is, if you knew how to make this better, why did you come here? Because a lot of the families do that. The person who is calling basically comes because they are trying to get like Iyanla on their side to be like, listen, I'm about to tell you how all these other people are crazy or disrespectful or wrong or the problem. You need to help me get them to understand that because I'm fine. Nothing with me is wrong. It's this person that we bringing in who is the sole reason why there is a problem here, okay? And that wasn't the thing. Now, what I loved that happened next was when Iyanla was like following her out, trying to convince her to stay. Like, I know this is hard and I know this is a process, but I try to tell you, trust this process. There was going to be one. I need you to be in it. I need you to follow what we got to do. And Shay started cussing like, F your process. And I was like, not F your process. Like, what? But that's what she told her, like, F your process. I'm not doing it. And Iyanla let them know, I don't care if she come back here with Jesus himself. She can't talk to me. And what I liked about that is we tend to not stick to our boundaries. Number one, we don't even define them. Like what will happen is somebody will disrespect us in some way. And what we do is we call our good girlfriends and be like, what he can't do is, or what she can't do is, or what you can't do is. But then when we start talking to them again, we don't hold to that. We don't tell them, number one, you were disrespectful to me. And what you said, what you are doing, and even in the real time, because Iyanla did it in real time, she didn't wait. She let her know, well, no, that's not true. She didn't tell her. No, she did. She told her, this is the last time you will talk to me because of how you are talking to me. And so in real time, you got to tell people like, whoa. What's happening here is going further than I am allowing. And so if this is how you want to continue to treat me, talk to me, speak to me, you have to do it on your own time, baby boy, baby girl, because it can't happen over here. And I really like that Iyanla was showing that, setting a boundary, saying what your line is, and baby girl, you crossed it. That's what she basically said. You ain't going to cuss me at my stuff where you called me for help. I ain't reach out to you. I did not reach out to you. This show was going to run whether you was here or not. And I really appreciated that. And so she told the people on her show, she talked to she talked to the mama, she told the brothers, like, y'all can talk to her, but she can't talk to me. Okay? And so moving on, Iyanla brought the brothers in to talk to the mama, because she was like, I guess Shay don't want to do this. Shay don't want to do the job. So she brought the brothers in, and they let her know, like, you didn't love us enough, and you weren't. Why didn't you make us feel loved? Why didn't you make us feel like you care for us? We feel like, our dads were better. Our dad was better to us than you were. And the mom was crying. There was, like, a lot of conversation, and you know how Iyanla do, and she give you like little tests and little works to do. But basically what happened was, the sons told their mom that we didn't feel loved, and we didn't feel adequate enough to be your children. We felt like we were a burden on you and all of those things. And the mom basically was saying, I was so busy trying to be strong and be a single mother, and not fail at that I did not realize that I wasn't giving you something. And also, I don't think that I was capable of giving it to you. Let me tell y'all something. As parents, there is not something that automatically makes you 100% nurturing, or know all the things, or be able to see all the things. And with every parent, especially single parents, you're going to miss something. Like, I could go to all your games. I could show up to every, you doing shows, plays, dances, singing, whatever. I could show up to all of those things. But you might not have the best clothes, because I can't afford all of that, because I can't do no overtime, because I'm here doing this work. Or I could get you in all the fly stuff, but because you're in the fly stuff, we don't live in the best of neighborhoods, because I'm spending all the money I could have spent on rent to make everybody look fly. Or, we could live in a nice house, and we could, you guys could have great clothing and all of that, but I'm not that nurturing, I'm not that loving, or I may not even be here because I'm spending a lot of time working to make sure that we can have this type of life. There's always something that's going to be missed. And when you have more than one child, your children are not the same. So whatever you do could be okay for one, and it don't work for the next one. I know I only have one other sibling. Whenever his wife, when they first got together, and like they were really in a serious relationship and things, and we were talking about our childhoods and things like that, his wife will tell you, my brother's upbringing sound completely different than my upbringing. We had the same mother and father, and we not that spaced out in years, but the experiences and what was offered to one was not offered the same to the other. And so we don't have the same childhood. And so you can have the same exact parents, and it's not going to be the same upbringing. I know I have 5, and I'm a single mom. And I could tell you all of my kids' personalities are so different. I mean, they kind of alike because they siblings, but at the same time, they not. Their interests are not the same. Their friends are not the same. And it's a lot. It's a lot to try to, one want to play video games. Another one want to play sports. Another one want to be artsy. Another one want to be all into the looks. Another one just want to be, driven successfully. And you got to try to jump in and all those things. And, trying to get into all those double dutch ropes, you ain't going to get it right. I can promise you, I did not get it right a lot of times, but I had good intentions, And so this mom's trying to tell people, the kids, I didn't have it. I just didn't have it. And I'm sorry that I didn't give you enough. And that's where the work comes. Because we who are parents do not realize that we really do owe our children apologies for what we didn't give. And as children, adult children, we have to realize 2 things. The first is that our parents were not plugged in as people right when we were born. Okay? They did not become humans when we were born. There was a life that happened before them. And so there is a childhood that they had that may not be amazing. And we don't want to believe that about our parents. We see our parents and we just want to believe that they have wonderful lives, and so they know how to make sure that we have wonderful lives, and that, they know all the tricks and rules and everything there is. And that is not the truth. As parents, we don't know nothing. We just winging it every day. Every day is winging it, literally. You wake up every morning and you just like, Lord, I don't know what you about to give me with these kids, but I'm tired and I might not even got time for it. Like, the truth is, because your parents have heartbreak. They have had their parents mistreat them. They have had family members mistreat them. They have had bullies in their lives. They have had people tell them that they are not good. They have had themselves relieve all of those things. They have had people that they thought were loves of their lives, who completely made them look stupid, made them feel dumb, made them embarrassed, made them feel low, made them feel unloved and unlovable, all before you were born. That all factors into the person that you get as a parent. And sometimes those things don't know how to cope with being a parent well, because they never had parenting right. And we would want to believe that every parent who had parents who didn't treat them the best will be the best parents, will try to be the best parents. But we all don't have that makeup. Some of us are going to be bad parents. That's what the makeup is, because we have not addressed a lot of what is happening. And most of the time it's because we don't have time. We have not had time to be able to address what has happened to us. And so we do give what we think is the best, not realizing that we could be better. But, so they addressed all of that. But when Iyanla also addressed the fact that what mama wasn't given is why Shay act like she act too. Because y'all seem to think that because she behaves in the way that she is, that it's worse than what you do. But she was telling the oldest son, like, but listen, you and your wife about to break up because you don't know how to handle relationships well, because you want to run away all the time. And so, you cutting up in your own way. And the other one, I don't even really remember what was going on with him, but she was saying, y'all cut up too. She's just manifesting it in a way that is more outwardly, that y'all feel looks worse. Mostly because the public can see it, and y'all don't like that. But she's hurt too, because her mom didn't love her. And you have to understand that she probably also had those responsibilities of, like, cleaning up, do the dishes, make sure the food out. How come you didn't? Why you didn't? You supposed to, all of those things. With mom making her feel like she wasn't an adequate. I don't know how to say the word. Adequate woman herself. And, none of them being able to say, you didn't do this right, or I needed from you something that I didn't get, and being able to hear a mom apologize. And so there came a point when Iyanla was telling them, you all need to address your sister. Like, they all address each other. The brothers address each other. Being, one brother was saying, like, you left me at the house, and I felt like you didn't care about me. And I don't know if you realized, but I always had to feel like, I felt like I always had to live under your shadow because you were so good at everything. And it was hard to be in that space. And, we didn't have no dad, and then you left, and then you didn't say anything, and you just became so successful. It's like you're too busy to be dealing with anybody, and that's rough too. And so they addressed that, and they addressed the mom. And so Iyanla was telling them, you all maybe could try to call your sister and see if you could talk with her and work some things out. Iyanla also let them know, I let her know after how she behaved the other day, she can't talk to me, but y'all can still use this space to talk to her. And so Iyanla had done this whole, presentation about plants, and plants not being watered, which is the same as, parents not watering their children so that they could grow to be healthy and, vibrant people. And she had Shay's plant dead, and she was saying, this is Shay's plant because nobody has watered her. She didn't kill herself on her own. This is because of an unwatering and unnurturing that came from you all. And so they call Shay. Shay's on the phone talking about Iyanla disrespected me, and because she disrespected me, they needed nobody else cares about me, because if they did, everybody would have walked out when I walked out. But see, that's another one of those problems. This whole, if I don't like something, everybody got to not like something, don't work, because some things that you don't like work for me, boo-boo. And nobody was being harmful to you in a way that wasn't for designed for help, but you didn't want to stay to find out what the process was. You saw the first time it got rough, you ain't like the way it was going, you decided that this don't work, but you have not gone through the whole process, so you don't know whether it was going to work or not. So they told her, like, please come back. So she came back. When she came back, Iyanla was sitting there and was saying, y'all need to have a conversation, but I'm gonna leave, because I already told you can't talk to me no more. And I like that she also didn't just didn't show up. She stood there in her stance to say, because of our interaction, you can't talk to me no more. But I still want you to get something from this. So show up. Now, I wish Shay would have stayed longer, because she really did need to hear a lot of what Iyanla had to say about her, because Iyanla said a lot of things that were really good, that if Shay had stayed, and hopefully she watched it to understand that Iyanla really was trying to be her voice in that space. And if she had stayed, she would have been able to get more out of it, because she would have been able to have her turn to say some stuff. All Shay was worried about was that you ain't gonna have me out here looking like a fool. And I only told her, like, you already look like a fool. And let me tell y'all, I know it's gonna be some people to be like, I thought she's supposed to be helping her, why would she say that? Because that's the truth. You've been out here looking like a fool. You've been out here looking like a fool since you took your little young self on the show, trying to pretend like you wanted to fight about with people over Flavor Flav. You know daggone well you wasn't attracted to that man. You know you was there for the show. You know you was there for the check. So don't do that. You've been looking like a fool, making yourself look like a fool, or allowing yourself to look like a fool for years. All of a sudden here, when I'm trying to tell you how to change some of this behavior, now you concerned about looking like a fool. You can't be concerned about looking like a fool. You make a living off of letting yourself look like a fool. You out here arguing with all these people that you just met for a check. That, honey, is making you look like a fool. Nobody is respecting whatever money you have, because we don't see your money. What we see is how you behave. And so I like that Iyanla addressed all of that and let her know, listen, you can't talk to me. I gotta go. Make it work. Do y'all work, whatever. And she left. The brother, the oldest one, tried to speak to her, and she still had, you can tell that Shay came back because she had signed a contract. And I think she felt like if she didn't do it, she would not be able, maybe they wouldn't be able to air whatever they got, or she wouldn't have been able to see the footage so that she could prove that Iyanla was hating on her, or maybe there's a check that she was going to get from being on there, and she wanted to make sure she could get her check because of the obligations. I don't know, but I do know that when she came back, she really wasn't with it. She was still cold. She was still, her body language said, I'm not open to any of this. And that was a problem for me. But, the brothers tried to explain, listen, because she sat down and was like, why are my flowers dead? You don't know what happened. You've been gone for a long time, baby girl. So just be still and let us explain what's going on. And because the flowers are still out here, which means we going to get to it. And so when the brother told her that they're like that because we learned that we have not been watering you, that we have not been nurturing you. And so this is what we have created in you, is this death space, and we always only address the death space. We don't try to find any life here. We have decided that you are not life, you are dead, and so we only address you in those ways. And so they started talking about what they were committed to do and what they wanted to do and how they wanted to be better and get closer and all those things. And Shay was just like, I accept it. And it was just like, girl, you gotta. But the truth is, when it's somebody who has, number one, created a baseline for themselves, or gotten comfortable in a baseline of destruction and trauma, that one, weekend is not going to help them to change how they see things. And because she didn't get to get a full work with these people, she didn't get the process enough to get an eye-opening, an awakening, a aha moment, any of those things, whatever you want to call it. She didn't get a bam. She didn't get none of that stuff because she wasn't there enough to do any work. Now, I don't know if that means that they let her work with a therapist on the side, or if she had some of the homework that they usually get and she still worked on any of that. But when she came back, you could see, girl, these eyebrows. When she came back, you could see that she still needed, there's a lot of work there that needs to happen. I can tell you this, a lot of how she behaves will not change if it's profitable for her. And as long as she on that daggone Love and Hip Hop franchise, or any one of these reality shows where they promote destructive behavior, she will not be able to change, because she makes her money that way. And that's sad. But hopefully she will learn how to turn it on, turn it off like an actress, instead of believing that that's who she has to be every day, all day, in all her days. Because I find it hard to believe that she's trying to tell me that she's a successful businesswoman and she doesn't know that when she's being disrespectful or when she should be respectful in spaces. I don't believe none of that. But y'all go ahead on and watch it. Leave a comment down below and let me know how y'all felt about the Shay situation, because, you know, I'm interested in what y'all think. And watch episodes going up every Saturday. I only come on Saturdays, again, on the OWN network at 9 p.m. Or, you know, I don't think you could stream hers anywhere else. I think you got to either have the OWN network cable channel, or you got to have the streaming site and somebody's cable channel to sign in with, because that's the only way I know how to do it. But again, subscribe, like this video, share it with your friends so y'all can talk about it, see if y'all agree with me. If y'all don't, go ahead on and put it down there. But be kind, because if you not, we ain't talking. But that's just me, and I'm just saying.